Hey, I'm Brant Zip at Crocker Farm Auction, and we're kind of going through some lots like we usually do for our upcoming March 23rd, 2019 sale. And I thought this was a great opportunity to talk about kind of a mysterious potter that we would really like to identify, and it's something we've been working on here for a while, and we hope to do it eventually, but still are not really sure who made these objects. And they're clearly made within like the Manhattan school of production. There's one piece in particular that has been traditionally attributed to John Crolius Jr., who was a prolific potter in Lower Manhattan, in the first couple decades of the 19th century. When these pieces were made, and I think that was sort of done by process of elimination. I'm not really sure exactly why that attribution was made, but it's just a little unclear who actually made these. And I think it would be really cool to identify this guy because he's one of the greatest stoneware potters ever. So one of the reasons why we say he is that he made what is widely regarded to be the greatest stoneware vessel ever made in America, at least as far as early American stoneware goes, and that is this punch bowl. Now, this bowl is really big. If you're ever in New York City, please go to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, to their Americana wing, and check out all the wonderful ceramics that they have there on display. But one in particular, they have this bowl on display, and this bowl is actually owned by the Museum of American Folk Art, but it is on display at the Met. Now, it's really large. When you see it in person, it's tough to get a sense of how big it is from this photograph. And on the interior is this wonderful incised fish. Now, this piece is inscribed Elizabeth Crane, May 22nd, 1811. On the other side, it says C. Crane, and it appears to be made to commemorate a marriage. Now, what we're going to be talking about today is a piece made made by the same maker. Now, what's fantastic about this is it's one of very few vessels that we can attribute to this same maker. Off the top of my head, I can think of perhaps 5 others. We have this ring jug. We have a flask that's on the cover of Adam Weitzman's book, Art for the People, with his wonderful collection inside, and the image they chose for the cover was an incised bird flask made by the same exact maker, inscribed Henry Edison, and I believe that has an 1804 date on it. This, as I said, the bowl has an 1811 date. We sold a wonderful jar a few years ago that said Rachel Van Ripper on it, and that had an 1800 date on it. And that was a lidded jar with incised flowers on it by the same maker. I've seen another jar with like some funky scalloped handles on it with some inscriptions, and that has, I believe, an 1808 date or 1809 date. But this one has an 1812 date. So there's that great tie-in too with the war that was about to come on or had already come on at that time. But anyway, this one has the inscription Peter, Matchet or Machette, 1812. And you can see that these incised flowers and this vine type motif are extremely reminiscent of what's seen on the punch bowl. The size of this is extraordinary. It's unclear if this is meant to be a little flask because you're putting hard liquor in it. You don't need a real big flask. or if it was made maybe for a child as like almost a toy, or just kind of like a kid's flask that he could put whatever in. Just to show you what a regular ring flask would look like. Typical size. Here's a southern one that we have in the same auction. You can see they're usually quite large. So actually, when we were emailed photographs of this, we're really excited to see it. We pictured something a bit larger, and when it came in the mail, we were kind of shocked to see the size, because it's a fantastic small size. I mean, I can't really recall seeing a ring flask of that size before. And one thing, like if you're wondering how we do these attributions, it's not just that the design is similar on this, but the handwriting always matches on these pieces, which is great. And, you know, so like I said, it's kind of been a fun project for us to try to figure out the exact potter who made this. And that's, I've at least been trying based on writing samples I have access to and things like that. And I still haven't been able to do it, but I've been able to rule out certain potters. So I'm hopeful that one day I'll be able to publish something on this. But yeah, this is just yet another awesome example from a fantastic potter. And we are really excited to sell this in our upcoming March 23rd Stoneware and Redware.